1 2 1 2. Is this thing going? It's on. All right. Y'all may cuss, but I don't curse. We go get that situated first. You already know the drill. Pardon with the tech difficulties I was just experiencing just now, but it's over. So let's get into it. This is going to be talking about are our souls broken, y'all. This is the Cancer edition because it's Cancer season. Shout out to the Cancers. Happy belated solar returns and all of that. If I didn't get to you personally, listen. I got you. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad that y'all could be celebratory at this time. If you are, you know what I mean? And if not, maybe this can help in some type of way. So we're going over the theme. Let me just get y'all reacquainted with what the theme is. So the theme is like this. This is not to focus on the negatives, right? Like, I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer. What I'm saying is because the sun rules over likes and dislikes, then we will want to look to see if we like or dislike what it is we're experiencing when the sun is transiting a particular sign where the sun is at. So that's why this is the Cancer edition, because it's still Cancer season. So if there is something that we dislike during this time, we do want to look at it so we can make readjustments to our focus. Therefore, consequently, we will like what we see in future renditions of Cancer season. You understand what I'm saying? And this could fix other areas of your life as well, but that's for a deeper discussion. So I want to start by saying this. First of all, Pisces, you're special, all right? Now, of course, this video is for other people. You can all watch and gain something from this as well. I'm about to give a little lesson that pertains to signs and houses, but because we're Pisces, the houses are going to be specific to us, and for other signs, you just have to figure out where your house is when I break this lesson down, all right? But the signs, everything related to the signs will remain the same. So the reason why I'm saying Pisces is special because, you know, Pisces gets this ability to do a lot of educational work with the houses or the signs preceding certain houses. And again, if you're a different sign, you can do this, but you got to find out what house it is. So what I mean is this. Cancer season, right? Rules over nutrition. Here's an example. And in our solar chart, it's the 5th house because we're Pisces, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, 5, right? So the next season is Leo season. Leo's, y'all up next. Calm down, calm your tits. I know how y'all feeling right now, but Leo for Pisces is inside of our 6th house, all right? The 6th house of health, right? So when you make the correlation, you realize that when the student, which is Cancer, the students of the signs, makes the expression of nutritional value, whether you're doing the research or doing the research and you're consuming the foods and the supplements and what have you, you realize that it benefits the next house over, which is the 6th house, which is in the sign of Leo. Reason being is this. There's a 2nd house overrule in astrology. It's a many house overrule in astrology, but we're going to talk about the 2nd house overrule for this survey. There I go. For this segment, all right? So the rule goes pretty much like this, and maybe I'll put a diagram up here for us, right? Whatever is in the house of question that we're talking about, the sign or the house over, 2 houses over from it, obtains the benefit. Why? Because the 2nd house rules over benefit, or it obtains the value, is a better word for it, right? Why? Because the 2nd house rules over value. So we must count the house that we're in. So in this situation, it'll be Cancer, the 5th house for Pisces people. You at home watching, different sign, you let me know what house it is for you. And you count that house, boom, Cancer in the 5th as 1 house, and then you move it over to the 2nd one, which would be 6th, Leo, right? 2 houses over. So you find the value for the student's expression. The student is Cancer from the 5th house inside of the 6th house. 2nd house overruled. 2nd house over from the 5th house lands in the 6th. That's where you find the value, right? So again, let's take it back. Nutritional value. You're consuming goods that are good for you. Everything, your body's feeling great. You researched it. You ate it. Mood foods, right? Moon rules over Cancer. Cancer rules over the moods and things of that nature. You're feeling fantastic, right? spins right over to the sign Leo. But look at the correlation though, because the sixth house rules over health, right? So that's a beautiful thing for Pisces people. That's what I'm saying. You're special, B. Like, you gotta, and this is not just limited to these signs. Like, always look for a correlation in different signs in astrology. There are some. There are many, in fact, if you look. You know what I'm saying? But moreover, expressing the nutritional value routinely in the sixth house, right? Because sixth house also rules over routine. Your ego expression of Leo is going to be beneficial. So, sometimes I talk about people having a healthy ego and an unhealthy ego. When you do something like this, as I said, you are what you eat, and, don't talk to some people unless they have their coffee and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you get what I'm saying with this? It's right. The proof is written in there. You know what I'm saying? So this is beneficial to the Leo expression of the individual, because Leo also rules over individuality. You follow me? And we could do this again. We could do it again. Because another Cancer ruled area in astrology is silver. Cancer, the moon rules over silver, or a silversmith, someone who melts it, molds it, all of those things that jewelers do, right? Now, that's in your fifth house as a Pisces in the zodiac, again, the sun chart. Count over from Pisces over to Cancer, you get to the fifth house. Now, sixth house is Leo for Pisces again, which rules over being an actual jeweler, rules over jewelry, it rules over gold specifically, right? So chances are that you may become a jeweler. You may start off with silver. I know a lot of people that actually did it that way. They started off with silver and then they merged into gold and then they just got into it heavy. You know what I'm saying? But you may catch yourself doing something like that. It's another example of how expressing the student sign in one house with the second house overrule goes into the next house, and it's beneficial. You know what I'm saying? And it's dope because you could do this routinely, and then it becomes like a job. You know what I'm saying? And J-O-B. I don't like to say job. I like to say routine. You know what I mean? Bars are nice. We know that already. So here's another one. Cancer is associated with the home, right? Associated with savings. Therefore, it's advised to monitor contentness when dealing with Cancer, because Cancer has a reputation of doing the most, not knowing when enough is enough. So you could squander wealth that way. You could ruin the health, decrease the nutritional value and everything that you worked for, let's say if you did in that situation, right? And then look what happens. The next sign is Leo. Again, the next sign is Leo. Leo rules over what? Extravagance, and it's your sixth house. So it becomes habitual should you not know how to sit down and be content. And Cancer, again, has a reputation for that. And if you're going to spend extravagantly, that means you're going to take out of what? Your savings, your nest egg. Cancer rules over that, rules over legacy, what you're leaving behind. It rules over your mature years, the waning years. I'm going to talk about it more in the Dating a Leo Woman video. Should be coming up next, y'all. But it takes away from all of that, right? So keep that in mind, Pisces people and other people, because it just, only thing that switches is the houses for y'all. You know what I'm saying? But the expression of the students still remain. So if you have if you're big on savings and home life and, you know what I mean, later years of your life to be comfortable and stuff like that, always be mindful that Leo is the next sign over. So if you get extravagant, you're taken away from what you're actually trying to build. You know what I mean? Now, why do you think the next house over, your ideal partner, Pisces, is someone that's going to critique you when you're doing the most? Like, yo, why don't you sit your ass down somewhere because you're doing too much right now? Like, look at you, you're a mess. You know what I'm saying? You got that over there, this over there, that over there. And you might be like, yo, you know what? I can't deal with this person. I'm not messing with this person, right? You know what I'm saying? But they did, because Virgo cleans up the mess of Leo. Virgo cleans up the mess of the king that just, you know what I mean, does whatever it wants and leaves the party, leaves the castle a wreck, and then Virgo comes, all the servants come, clean it up, organize it, re-strategize what needs to be happening here. If you're going to do an event, can you plan an event, please? Because we didn't know all of this chaos was going to happen. Virgo is the cleanup sign. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. So it's in that order for a particular reason. Now, there's a flip side to this too, because there's areas where not being content can be good though. So if you're willing to be more of a risk taker, right? Because you have a bigger vision, you have more, you want more out of life, you have things that you want that you're not content with, right? And it deals with security, it's wrapped around security. Cancer rules over security. So you might not be pleased with a one-room shack. You might want something that's bigger than that. Bars, nice. You know that already. You know what I'm saying? But so Cancer as a cardinal sign is going to move the needle for that. You know what I'm saying? It's going to get out there and go after what it wants to secure the bag, to secure the legacy, to secure the savings, to secure the future. You know what I'm saying? The estate. It might go not just a savings account. Like, I want an estate. Yeah, we're going to pass something down, right? I'm not cool passing down with what I got right now. I want to pass down a whole estate. You understand what I'm saying? So Cancer energy will go and move that needle, which can be beneficial because Leo is the next house over. So the idea or the mindset is, listen, I'm going to get extravagant. I'm going to have a big house. That house is going to be attached to the estate, which I can pass down. You understand what I'm saying? And so on and so forth. Whatever other assets that I acquire in the process is part of that estate. You understand what I'm saying? So it can be a beneficial thing. The key reminder here as well is to remind yourself that this is something that must be maintained, because 6th house for Pisces, again, y'all, if you got different houses, y'all just make it work the way it's supposed to work with the houses, right? But for Pisces people, you're going to have to maintain this on a routine basis, or you're going to find yourself not being able to keep up with the Joneses. You understand what I'm saying? And that can decrease the individuality, decrease the ego, and that's why we're here doing these lectures right here about, are our souls broken? Because when we see things that we dislike, that can be one of them, right? Like, oh, the bills are this high and it don't look like I got enough revenue this year. You understand what I'm saying? Decreases it makes a dislike, right? And then we gotta refocus and readjustment our egos and our souls, right? Definitely do an ego check. Dark night of the soul or ego death. You heard those terms, right? This is primarily the reason why, especially for Pisces people. So, but you got to be prepared, because the sign Leo is extravagant. It's generous. It wants to show what it has. It wants to reflect the status. This is something else I'm going to talk about in the Leo woman as well, because these things were brought to my attention dealing with this Leo woman, and I'm grateful for it. Much gratitude to the universe. How about that? Everybody say that real quick, because gratitude is like 85-90% of this whole thing. Show the world some gratitude. Show the universe, God, gratitude. You understand what I'm saying? What else? So Leo rules over gambling, speculation, right? So you might want to get out there and take a gamble in those types of things. Now, also keep this in mind when you get job offers or opportunities and people are trying to pay you to do something for them, right? Ask yourself, does this reflect what my goal and my vision is from a Cancerian standpoint, right? Because if it takes away, well, the offer is not going to take away from your savings and stuff like that, right? But you might want to watch the energy that's being exerted in order to obtain what it is that's being offered, right? Because it could decrease your nutritional value. And it's just like, no, you didn't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? And they might lowball you. And you might have to say to yourself, well, if I want my savings to be at this level in the Cancer house, and I want my routine to be extravagant on the Leo level in my 6th house, then they're going to have to pay me more than that. You're gonna have to kick out more than that. You understand what I'm saying? And it's just you knowing your worth, knowing what your value is, and going after it. Again, Cancer is going to move the needle of going after security. All right, so it's nothing wrong with it. You're not a sinner. You're not going to burn in hell and all that. Knock it off, okay? It just is what it is, B. And this has got a lot to do with manifestation as well. You know what I'm saying? You want to manifest more and bigger things for yourself. This is the type of mentality that you have to build, you know? And again, vice versa. If you're more of the content type, and you're like, you know what, I'm just going to figure it out until I figure it out, or until I step into it, or learn your techniques even better, then so be it. You know what I'm saying? Because shit, putting something away for the rainy day, when the rainy day actually hits, you be thanking yourself for that now, don't you? Now, all of this was brought into focus for me because during Cancer season, which was a much better Cancer season this year than it was for me last year, I must admit. I would say the only thing I really want to tweak is like family expressions. You know what I'm saying? Something dawned on me. I don't want to call it like, I don't know what it was. I wouldn't want to call it like memories that made me feel this way. I just feel like this is an update for me. You know what I'm saying? Emotionally. Ugh. That I'd actually want to spend more time on family matters. But if you're a member, you know exactly what I'm after. So that's my excuse. Now, some people might be like, oh, you got an excuse to be an asshole, or you got an excuse to be distant and not try to, mold relationships or bend relationships or, reconcile and things of that nature. And look, I'm just keeping it a being with myself. You know what I'm saying? We all uniquely different. We all don't got the same dreams and nightmares. You know what I'm saying? We all don't got the same irrevocable truths. It's one of my favorite terms now, but we all don't got the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm a black sheep. I know I'm the black sheep. You know what I'm saying? That's something else I'm gonna bring up in the Dating Leo woman video, because she sent me a picture of a black sheep poster, or it was a single cover, and I'm like, yo, that was the first concert I ever went to. You know what I'm saying? So now I gotta change one of my security questions, because that's one of the questions. You know what I'm saying? But it's true. So the shit should be sending me just be like random shit, but it means like so much. It's coded. You know what I'm saying? A picture worth 1,000 words. All 1,000 words is in the picture. So it's like, things like that happen during Cancer season. You get shown something that'll make you have a nostalgic feeling, or it might even be a traumatic feeling because it reminds you of a memory that you had, especially in the past. And you're like, man, you know what I'm saying? Makes you feel some type of way. You know what I'm saying? Good or bad. This is going to cause a like or a dislike. And depending on what it is, we are tasked to readjust our focus, right? Because the sun rules over focus and concentration. So we get our life shifted, the mood state, very important for manifestation, right? The feeling, the mood that we're in. To shift the mood in a way that we have more likes. More likes. I want to like more that is happening in my life. So that's pretty much it for me. Like I said, this Cancer season was good for me. It was great, as a matter of fact. So, I just wanted to pass that on to y'all. A little lesson in the meantime. And, I hope this helps someone who's watching and listening. And until next time, I'm out of here.